What is up, my friends? How are we? It is Friday. Your weekend has officially started, and you are very welcome along to the late night agenda. How are we all? There is a lot for us to go through tonight. We're going to be speaking about the injury concerns we have ahead of the weekend. Confirmation that Ibrahima Konate is going to be out for, well, somewhere between 4 to 6 weeks, we believe. We're going to be taking you through Mohamed Salah being snubbed yet again in another award ceremony, which is a farce. We're going to take you through some quotes ahead of the game from Arne. We're going to go through the transfer merry-go-round as well. We're going to talk about why we should maybe be optimistic at the idea of Joe Gomez coming in alongside Virgil van Dijk to replace Ibrahima Konate. That and lots more over the next, well, however long we're on. So, I've seen somebody in the chat saying that the song is terrible, the intro song. Don't care. I like it. It relaxes me before the show. And here's something for you. You make me a better one then, and I'll play it, because I love it. It is a little bit cheesy, I grant you that, but I love a bit of cheese, and it relaxes me before the show, so there you go. So yeah, good to go tonight, my friends. Loads for us to get through. We're going to be speaking about why Alisson has confirmed that he won't be going to Saudi Arabia anytime soon. We're also going to be speaking about some links to a Borussia Dortmund player, some more stuff around Trent Alexander-Arnold, and Gareth Bale predicting Liverpool to win the Champions League. Craig, don't fear, Joe's here. Well, Simon Brundish actually gave us a bit of hope on this. Simon Brundish posted something earlier on to say that as brilliant as Ibrahima Konate has been, the Konate and Virgil partnership has an average of 2.15 points per game, whereas Gomez and Virgil have 2.43 points for their average, so I think we're in good hands. Look, I'm not going to try and dress up Konate being out as a good thing. Of course it's not. You know, him and Virgil have had the best centre-back pairing in the Premier League, in my opinion, this season, probably in Europe. So absolutely it's a knock. But, you know, where there is bad news, there's always a little bit of good news. So Conor Bradley's going to be unavailable, but Trent will be available to start. So if you look at it that way, the right back situation's mended itself. We're pretty much getting back to health in midfield. So yeah, the centre back situation is the big one, and obviously Alisson probably not going to be ready to start this either. Costas, we have never got a definitive time frame on, so we don't know how long he's likely to be out, but I wouldn't be concerned. You know, it is a frustration with Ibu, but it could have been a lot worse. When you're talking about knees and stuff, you start thinking longer term. So thankfully, it's only going to be, I say only, 4 to 6 weeks, which means he will miss some massive games. We said to you guys, just this month alone in December, coming up, we've got 9 games. So maybe Konate is going to miss somewhere between, I don't know, 10 and 12 games, something like that. Right, let me get this up from Mike. Thank you, Mike. Mike said 3-1 to Liverpool on Sunday. Gomez will be solid for us. Well, thank you, mate, and thank you for being with us as a member for 5 months as well. I've just recorded the preview for the game against Manchester City, and that is going to be out tomorrow morning, so keep an eye out for that one. We are taking the day off live streaming tomorrow, and we definitely are, because Connor's running in a mini marathon as well, so we're definitely taking the day off tomorrow, but that video will be up. Roosba, thank you, my friend, for your super chat and your comment. You said, I'd strongly favour Gomez for City. Huge experience. Yeah, we ran a poll on it last night as well, Roosba, and that was the feeling amongst the Anfield Agenda viewers. Joe Gomez was very much the preferred choice, but we'll wait to see what Arne does. I mean, will Arne surprise us all and put Joe Gomez at left back maybe and bring in Kwanzaa to rest up Robbo? I doubt it, but they are options. Jen, much love, my friend. Thank you, Jen, for 22 months as a member as well. And I appreciate your comment on your 22-month membership. You said Anfield Agenda, best in the world. Thank you. But like I always say, Jen, you guys are what make it the best in the world, not me. I'm merely here just reading comments and trying to make it a joke every now and again. But appreciate your support, Jen. Heavy Metal D, thank you, bro, as well. 16 months as a member for yourself, and you've said, can't believe it's been 16 months since I became a member of this awesome channel. Shame about Ibu, but I think that we can still be strong enough. Yeah, look, there's no glossing over it, mate. It is a knock, not having Ibu in is going to be difficult, but this is why it's so important that we keep Joe around, because Joe will give us an option in this one. So, yeah, it's all good in that regard. We've more than enough. We can't really afford many more injuries coming up now, to be fair. But yeah, I was worried it was going to be longer than 4 to 6 weeks, to be fair. When I seen a knee injury, I'm programmed to fear the worst after what happened with Van Dijk and Joe Matip and stuff like that. So, but it still doesn't get past the fact that Hendrick's just a little shit. You know, there was absolutely no need for that. But, of course, he came on, was snidey because they were losing, was throwing himself about a little bit. And, yeah, there was absolutely no need for it whatsoever. Scott Engerson, how are we, bro? Appreciate you. Scott with us is 9 months as a member as well. Scott said, love you, Craig. Best channel, WFM. Thank you, mate. It's been incredible. It's been another phenomenal month here on the channel for us with all of your support. Thank you. So let's start going through the news then. So let's talk about the FIFA Best Men's 11 Attacker nominees, shall we? Which has a lot of people in there that have me scratching my head, to be honest with you. How can I have a list as a football fan, as somebody who watches the game, as somebody who likes to support the game? How can I put any faith in this FIFA Men's Best 11 Attacker nominee nonsense? Because on this list, I'm supposed to believe that there's space on it for the likes of Kano. Who else is on there? It shouldn't be there. Aubameyang, Ronaldo, Luis Suarez, Solomon Rondon, but no spot for Mohamed Salah. I give up at this point. Is there any awards that he's not going to be shunned from? Because in what world does Aubameyang, Kano, Rondon, Ronaldo, and some of the others on that list deserve to be there ahead of Mo? And not just Mo, there's a load of players that should be on that list that aren't there. That is shocking. Once again, shocking. I don't know who picks that, but it is an absolutely stupid list. Rondon. I, as a football fan, am having to digest that Solomon Rondon, or Solomon Rondonald McDonald, as I like to call him when he was at Everton, is on that list. Come on now. Come on now. That's nonsense of the highest order. Kevin said, Craig, it's 2:22 a.m. listening to you and eating biryani from Bangalore. Nice. Enjoy, Kevin. Enjoy. It's crazy, isn't it, that he's not on that list. So, a few other bits and pieces. James Pearce has said that the admiration that Liverpool have for Martin Zubimendi remains strong. But again, still nothing there to suggest that the move is imminent. But he's also said the Anfield hierarchy believed he came under pressure from Real Sociedad to stay put at his boyhood club when he made that U-turn, having initially indicated that he was keen on completing the switch to Merseyside. So my concern now is that it won't just be Liverpool, of course, after Zubimendi. We already spoke about the stuff at Real Madrid, and are they looking to move on Tchouaméni to free up a space for him? Then you've got Manchester City maybe looking to bring in a midfielder. So, you know, all this stuff around Zubimendi is great, but nobody has said that he wants to leave Sociedad yet. So until we hear that, I don't want us flogging a dead horse for another month during January when we badly need to get this midfielder in. We need to get it sorted, and we need to make sure that we have the best chance possible to put our best foot forward to win this Premier League title, and of course maybe the European Cup as well. Something coming from Sport Witness, who I believe are in Spain. They say Luis Diaz's future with Liverpool is uncertain. The renewal of his contract has faced some disagreements that could lead the Colombian to consider other options in the European market. So one thing I would say here is Lucho has 2 and a bit years to go. He's the remainder of this season and 2 more seasons to go. And whilst I do believe Liverpool need to give him a contract extension and a pay rise, I wouldn't be worrying about it just yet. I think it's no secret that he's one of the lesser paid attackers at the club. So, you know, no qualms whatsoever about him looking for an improved deal. He should get one, but I wouldn't be concerning myself with him leaving anytime soon. Sam Lewis said, Craig, if we get Zubimendi, our midfield will be McAllister, Zubimendi and Gravenberch. Yeah. Or, you know, you could mix it up any which way you want. If you wanted to go more balls out, you've got Jones, you've got Elliott, you've got Soboslai. So yeah, plenty of options. Give the transfer committee something to do. Sorry, I'm just replying to my daughter. They're at a wedding and they're just leaving to come home, so she was just letting me know. So, other bits and pieces in the news so far. What's this one from David Ornstein about Trent Alexander-Arnold? David said, Liverpool are trying to renew Trent's contract, but so far there's no agreement in place. There is strong interest from Spain and other countries. Liverpool would like to keep hold of him. There's no clear picture of the outcome right now. I've got to be honest on this, as I always am with you guys. So, of course, I want Trent to stay. But I'm going to say what I've said before. I don't see a world where he's worth £300,000 to £350,000 a week, if that is the asking wage. You know, again, right backs making 300 to 350 grand a week just doesn't sit right with me. And also, another thing that I want to be upfront about is, remember what Mo had to do to get those numbers, to get that wage. He had to rewrite the history books. We had to break a wage structure to reward him for his efforts. Can we say that Trent has done the same? Can we say that he's put in the same impact or influence as Mohamed Salah's had over his time? I don't think he has, you know. So, this is a tricky one for me. I very much want him to stay, but not at any cost. You know, not at a situation where, what happens then for his next renewal? Like, let's say Trent signs a 4-year deal now. What happens in 2 years' time when he's 28 then? Is he going to be wanting £500,000 a week? I think it's a dangerous precedent to set. And I don't know. I don't know if he's worth that kind of money, to be honest with you. I know we have to pay a certain premium for the fact we've let this get to this point and whatnot, but again, it just doesn't sit right with me, the idea of him on £300,000 or £350,000 a week. AD said Trent needs to look at how Mbappe is being treated. Yes, and not just him, Bellingham as well. Bellingham's not exactly feeling the love at the minute from the Madristas. Stephen, you've asked a question, bro, that I've asked myself many, many times, sir. And let me just repeat your question so everybody knows what I'm talking about. Stephen asked, how hard is FSG really trying to sign any of these? So, there's different levels, I guess, of complication for each one of these contracts. Everybody believes that Virgil's probably the most straightforward. And we do believe we're going to get some good news on Virgil soon. Mohamed Salah, it's come down to, you know, whether the club want to commit that amount of money to Mohamed Salah for the next 2 to 3 years. So you can understand an age question. With Trent, though, I don't understand how this one is as complicated as it's made out to be, unless we just haven't got the answer from Trent about what he wants to do. And my fear in this has always been the same. Yes, Trent has been silent on it, and yes, Trent has spoken about the fact he wants this dealt with behind the scenes. Totally understand that. But the longer it goes on, and the longer we don't have any communication from Trent as Liverpool fans that at the very least he wants to stay, then I get concerned. Because we don't know if this is a negotiation that's just gone back and forth over numbers here, or if we still haven't heard from Trent that he wants to stay at Liverpool or that he wants to try a new thing. That uncertainty is the part that worries me, because, you know, we know what Virg wants to do. We know what Mo wants to do. We're in no doubt about that. But we're kind of still in the dark. Now, some people saying, hang on, Craig, we know what Trent wants to do. He said it. He wants to captain the club. He wants to be a great. Cool. Then why no public declaration that, you know, this is where he sees his future? I think that's all Liverpool fans are asking for right now, is Trent to acknowledge that, you know, this is his first prerogative, to stay at Liverpool, to win what he wants to win or achieve here. After that, I think we'll all be a little bit more relaxed. But this, I guess this quietness is putting many of us on edge. Irfan, how are you, my friend? Said, Craig, I hope you're doing well. I've got a question. What position in football do you think is the hardest to play as well as the easiest to play? The hardest to play, fullback or central midfield, I would say, are the hardest to play. The easiest to play, look, I'm going to say a goalkeeper, as I was a former goalkeeper, so I'll probably say that. But yeah, I would say a fullback, because the engine these days and the fitness levels required to get up and down that pitch, and that's what fullbacks have to do in the modern game, is get up and down the pitch all day. I would say that's particularly difficult. And also the central midfield role as well, playing in the condensed area where, you know, sometimes you're playing with your back to where you want the ball to be. So yeah, they're the two positions for me. I would say are probably the most difficult. Winger, that's easy. Come on, Alex. Winger's easy. You know, that's the glory in positions. That and through the centre. I've no sympathy for any forward positions. You know, they get all the plaudits anyway, so. I'm nervous about the City game. I hope they don't bounce back. I totally understand that, mate. You know, even in the poor form that they're in, you know, it is still a Pep Guardiola Manchester City team, so. You know, but I keep saying to myself, they're going to give a response. They're going to give a response. I thought they were going to give a response when they played Spurs. Because, you know, Rodri presented the Ballon d'Or to the crowd. Pep had just signed a new deal. But they were whooped for nothing. Then I thought that they'd show the response against Feyenoord. And they did, until they fell apart and drew 3-3. So, yeah, this has the makings of being, you know, certainly the biggest game of the season so far. Because 11 points is the gap if we beat them. 5 points is the gap if we lose to them. With them, I mean. And, you know, if we draw, well then, we stay as we are with Manchester City, 8 points. But, of course, Arsenal will come into 7 then. So, yeah, big game. Big game. But look, let's be honest about it as well. Who would you rather be coming into this game? You know, imagine if we were coming into this game off the back of a run of form like City have. I think we'd be a lot more nervous, right? So, you know, I think we've earned the right to be optimistic for this one, but it's still a difficult game. Do you think the court case has an effect on the City players? It has to. It has to. I don't care how professional you are. These things hanging over your head. Everywhere you go, people asking you about them. Every time you meet a fan on the street or an opposition club fan, they're shouting them at you. Has to have an impact. LFC 1974 said, Craig, if you had the chance to add an extra player in, what position would it be? It's 100% central midfield. You know, that's what we need. We need to give Ryan Gravenberch a breather. We need to give Arne Slot the option of rotating Ryan out, giving him a rest, or heaven forbid if he picked up an injury, I think we're going to come unstuck then. So, yeah, central midfield, 100%. And Neville, we did that poll yesterday, I think, Gomez or Kwanzaa, and it was like 77% Gomez, something like that. So let me go back through some more stuff. Right, so the Anfield Bulls posted something earlier on Curtis Jones, which I think deserves to be highlighted. So credit to them. So they've said, so far, Curtis Jones versus Premier League midfielders so far this season, he's got the highest pass accuracy of 95.11%, so 95.11%. That's incredible. To have a pass accuracy from midfield at 95%. Fair play. Highest short pass accuracy, which is even higher, at an incredible 96.17%. Highest progressive pass accuracy at 94.44%. And most shots blocked. I don't know if that's a good thing or not, to be honest, but most shots blocked, 1.03 per game. Look, I would say that most shots blocked is not something we should be bragging about, but it is a problem of ours. We do have a lot of our shots blocked. You know, we've spoken about it in watchalongs many times, but great to see Curtis Jones stepping up this season and deservedly being one of the first names on the team sheet at this rate. Colin Brooks, oh, you're just replying to somebody. Oh, V. Aaron, how are you, mate? Mate, by the way, before I read out your super chat, V. Aaron, mate, I just I did reply to your email. I'm not sure if you got a chance to have a look at it, but I did. So, Craig, have you heard Conor Bradley's song in the tune of Irish Rover? It's amazing. I haven't, but oh god, I'm all for it. I have to have a little look into that one, mate. In the year of our Lord 1806, we set sail from the sweet cove of Cork. We were sailing away with a cargo of bricks for the Grand City Hall in New York. Oh mate, yes, give us a bit of that defo. But no, I haven't heard it yet. I haven't heard it, but I'm definitely going to learn it. What's this? Mate, you put your question in like twice very quickly. Give it a minute. We don't want your time there for spamming. But anyway, you said I have a question. If you could sign a striker, aside from rumours, who would it be? Marmoush. I think Marmoush would be a great fit for us. I have the high ground. I think Omar Marmoush is the right fit. But look, also, if we're talking about dream forwards, I wouldn't say no to Musiala, who's listed as a forward in the FIFA best. But yeah, I think Marmoush is a good fit. David Smith said, not sure if you've covered it, but Real Madrid have apparently officially informed Liverpool of their desire to sign Trent. Yes, I haven't covered it, but I was going to get onto it in a moment. It is here in my notes, so let me just grab it open. So, anything Liverpool posted, according to TalkSport, Real Madrid have informed Liverpool of their desire to sign Trent Alexander-Arnold. Liverpool are still hoping to convince Trent to sign a new deal at Anfield. But like I said a moment ago, you know, we just need to hear if Trent wants to stay at the club or not. And to be honest with you, I'm only going to speak for me because I only ever want to speak for me. But it's starting to wear me down a little bit, not knowing whether Trent wants to stay at his boyhood club or not. It's the doubt is seeping in. I can't lie. I can't. I'm frustrated, you know, because whatever happens with Salah and Virgil, I know, you know, we all know that they want to stay. The silence from Trent around everything is his right to do so, but, you know, of course it will lead to a lot of speculation, a lot of conjecture, and I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. So the officials for the Newcastle-Liverpool game have been announced as well. Mark's just sent them on to me. Andy Madley is going to ref the game. Assistants, Wade Smith and Craig Taylor. Fourth official, Anthony Backhouse and Stuart Atwell, assistant VAR. VAR Stuart Atwell, assistant VAR James Mainwaring. How is it that every time we play a league game, a difficult league game, there's a ref that I would say is very much in the not very fond of Liverpool category that is on VAR? So we're playing Manchester City and it's Atwell. Or not Atwell, sorry. It's Tierney on VAR, I believe. And now we're playing Newcastle away and it's Atwell on VAR. So, yeah. Don't know what to make of that, but, you know, I expect we're going to have to work hard to win both of those games. Mark said, I've been pretty sure for months that Trent is going, already made my peace with it. So let me ask that. I'm going to ask again today. I know we've asked this question quite a bit, but I'm going to ask it again. 1 second. Okay. So, simple question. Will Trent stay or leave? Vote away and we'll revisit this in a while. So, Patrick Berger has been saying that Liverpool are monitoring Borussia Dortmund winger Jamie Gittins. Again, though, like I said when we spoke with David, and like David said to me as well, it's mad seeing all these links to attackers because we don't need them. Like, if Mohamed Salah goes, maybe, fair enough. But, yeah, it's confusing. Loads and loads and loads of links to attackers recently. And not one genuine bona fide link to a midfielder, which is the position we really need to be strengthening. After that, you could talk centre-back, you could talk left-back. But I'd be pretty much just ignoring most of these attacker links till we know what's going on with Salah and whether the club are going to make a long-term decision on Darwin or not. Cohen said, Tierney was good on VAR the last time he had us. If I remember correctly, was that, Cohen, the Chelsea game? Because I definitely do remember a game, in fairness to Paul Tierney, where he was on VAR, I was expecting to be shafted, and he was grand. So, yeah, I do have I think it may have been the Chelsea game, but I certainly remember where you're coming from, Cohen, and you have, it certainly was, it wasn't the car crash that I was expecting. Acapella said we need to replace Jota, unfortunately. I'm in agreement with you, mate, as much as it's unpopular. I just think the availability issue is the one that worries me, because every season there's a good clutch of games he's unavailable for, and nobody will question his quality or his ability to score goals or his football intelligence or any of the other stuff. But if he's not available for whatever reason, it's frustrating, because right now Arne Slot's having to rotate 4 forwards into 3 positions over and over again. One of them, Darwin Núñez, is still not really found his goal scoring form yet. And then we've got Jota and Chiesa who are unavailable. So it's tough for the manager at the minute. Frozen, how are you, mate? And thank you for your super chat. Appreciate you. Said, imagine Salah telling them thanks but no thanks at the next Ballon d'Or after Liverpool winning the quadruple. It genuinely astounds me, bro, how many awards he's bypassed in. Like, how do you have a shortlist for the African Player of the Year and not have Mohamed Salah on it? How do you have a FIFA Best Men's Attacker shortlist and not have Salah on it, but have Solomon Rondon on it and Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang on it and other players on it who, quite frankly, aren't fit to lace Mo's boots? It's shocking. And all they're doing, in my eyes, is just making these whole award ceremonies a joke. Everybody knows it's all political. Everybody knows it's all about putting the right players in there. Like, Ronaldo. Seriously. Ronaldo's on that list. Over in Saudi, where nobody gives a shite about what he's doing. And he's on that list. Suarez is on that list. Playing football over in Inter Miami. And we're saying there's no room for Mohamed Salah. Come on now. That's madness. When Gravenberch needs a rest, what's our best midfield? Probably Jones, Szoboszlai and McAllister. Because we haven't really seen enough of Elliott under Slot to know what to expect there. It's going to be great getting to see him develop under Arne Slot, because like every other player that Arne Slot's coached at Liverpool so far, I think we'll see some progression again from Harvey. So, if Gravenberch was out, I think it has to be McAllister, Szoboszlai and Jones. I know people may say Watoro, but, I still say no. I'd still say put Maka in the deeper line position. Slugger said, Craig, a question. Is Salah holding club and management to a ransom? No. What? I guess you could technically say that about any negotiation, but ultimately, for Liverpool and for the players in these scenarios, you free will to do whatever you like. So if Liverpool can't find common ground on the numbers and they don't think there's value there, then Liverpool will make that decision, and vice versa. If Mo doesn't feel like the numbers are numbers he's happy with, he's got free will to reject it as well. Same with Virgil, same with Trent. I'm not going to finger any blame at the players here in any of this scenario, because for me the finger of blame is solely pointed at the club for letting it get to this point. We all have a difference of opinion, whether it's FSG, whether it's Edwards and Hughes. Okay, I'm open to that. But it's definitely the club's mistake that we're in this position. Why do we delete the question asking how I pronounce my last name? Is it because he spammed it? It's pronounced Houlden, by the way. I've no idea where the U came into my family name over the years. Like, it's weird, Houlden. The bane of my life, trying to just say to everyone, yeah, it's Houlden with a U. Everybody makes the same mistake. So yeah, it's just Houlden, mate. When is Jota back? Don't know. Still haven't got a definitive on that one. The club don't really give out time frames too much. They just give out weekly updates. How long is Konate out for? Said Chris Cooper. The perceived wisdom, Chris, is somewhere between 4 to 6 weeks. Ibu did take the social media to confirm, of course, that he's going to miss the City game and be out. But 4 to 6 weeks seems to be the the length of time doing the rounds anyway. Harry said, the way I see it, all the fans are united on Salah staying. Give him however many years he wants. Just don't go above his current pay. Yeah, it is. It's one of those unusual situations, Harry, where everybody seems to agree, yeah, that, pay the man. You've seen the banner on the cup. That's not, Anfield Agenda saying that. That's not another fan channel saying it. That's, the match going copite saying, give the man his dough. So, yeah, you're right. It is one of those rare times where we've seen, everybody come together. I hope we do get that Virgil announcement soon, because that would be a lovely little boost, to have our captain tied up to a contract extension. And by all accounts, I think that is forthcoming soon enough. I've seen some of the spoofers caught out on social media again today, by the way, over guessing on injuries and then being very, very wrong on them. I do love to have a little chuckle at these when they're sent my way. Regan, you said you've been unwell for months. Well, I hope you're on the road to recovery, my friend. Yeah, I hope you're on the road to recovery. Never like to hear of anybody being unwell, mate. So I hope you're feeling better. I think we could see Trent and Conor Bradley on the pitch at the same time. Yeah, I'm sure there could be a world where Conor plays at left back in some scenario or something, maybe, I don't know. But yeah, at the moment, unfortunately, Conor's out for a while. Don't know the exact length of time yet, but won't be available for the weekend. Will Chiesa or Jota be available soon? I know I sound like a broken record here, mate, but I truly don't know. The manager in his press conferences hasn't been very forthcoming with any type of a time frame. I don't know. It just feels like every time we're told something about an injury, it seems to be a bit longer. Or in Chiesa's case, it's not an injury, it's a fitness thing. But I don't know. How long is a mini preseason? How long is it going to take to get him up to that fitness level? We've had, international windows now, but come and go. So I've no idea. Acapella said, look, I think everybody wants Trent to sign the new deal. I think you're right on that part. But if the reports are true, those wages are just too much for a fullback. The reality is Trent is the easiest of the three to replace. So I would tend to agree with you. Now, of course, there are attributes that Trent has that a lot of other right backs wouldn't have. But ultimately, I agree. And I would say that he's the least important this season in the three there. So maybe even next season. Virgil and Mo, I just can't see a way losing them doesn't have a big impact on us. Losing Trent will impact us, it will. But Bradley can step up and maybe we bring in another fullback as an option and who knows there. So to flip back what somebody said a moment ago about Mohamed Salah, saying, do you think Mohamed Salah is holding the club to ransom a bit? I think the closest one I would say that to would be Trent. But again, I'm not saying he is because I don't know. I just don't like... I don't like not thinking he wants to stay. I don't like it being a possibility that, all of his dreams about captaining Liverpool and, whatever are there in front of him. He has the possibility to do it. He has the possibility to stay here and become an icon. So, I don't know. Michael Owen, by the way, needs to fuck off. And just stop it. I don't even want the word Liverpool associated to Michael Owen. I'm sick of listening to this lad. So, just when he's already said, Trent, ring me about Madrid and all that other crap, now we have him posting to say, it's been over 11 years in the making, but United are all of a sudden good to watch again. Improvement required everywhere you look, but this is now a team with potential written all over it. Just do one, please. Right, so this was very interesting. Broke yesterday, but we didn't really get a chance to cover it. A proposal to ban state-controlled clubs from English football has been included in the Football Governance Bill If passed, Manchester City and Newcastle would need to change ownership to obtain a license from the new independent regulator. So, even though both of these clubs profess not to be state-run, everybody knows that you don't operate in these parts of the world without state say so. Let's go with that. And it would be very interesting to see how all this would come about, because I've no doubt that Manchester City lawyers are already there with hard-ons thinking about their kids' college tuitions again being taken care of at the idea of another legal battle, because you know, that legal team, I'm sure, has been very well compensated for the work that they've done. Ashley Dooley said, Jota, Ali and Chiesa seem to be out for longer than expected. I thought Jota only had a bruised rib, which was some time ago. So I've seen bruised rib for Diogo. I've seen punctured lung reported. But ultimately, again, it's a fine balance here, because, of course, these are medical records as well for the club. So there is a confidentiality that needs to go along with that. So, yeah, I don't know, mate. I know it's frustrating. It's frustrating for us as well. You know, we got a little tease of Chiesa, and then we haven't seen him for ages with very few updates on it. You know, how many mini pre-seasons? Like, his mini pre-season has gone on longer than our actual pre-season. And I know he hasn't had the chance really to play as many games, you know, because in pre-season you're playing games as well. But, you know, we get a 4 to 6 week pre-season. And this mini pre-season he's had has been 2 months now. So, you know, I don't know how far away from an acceptable level of fitness he is, because the manager hasn't really told us. So, I need to just raise something up really quickly. I'm going to talk about it once, and I'm not going to mention it again, because I don't want this to be a negative about somebody or not. So, Hussam won't be coming on the channel for a video. I've never had this happen before, but when we said that we were, you know, he'd reached out and we said we do, because we said we'd work with everybody, we started to receive messages and emails from people then asking us to reconsider whether it was a good fit for our community. And like we always say, we are a community-led channel. We listen to your feedback. We take it on board. Some people have contacted us with some examples of stuff that, honestly, I don't really like. And we made the decision and informed him of our decision that we won't be doing a video together. Again, I've no ill feeling towards him whatsoever. And I wish him nothing but the best in his continued journey as a content creator. But for us, we listen to our channel. We listen to feedback. And if you guys don't think it's a good fit, you know, as I said, we listen. Anything with Saeed? Yeah, we were on with him yesterday. Yeah, he was on the Red Mist podcast with me and Lee yesterday. First time I'd ever actually met or spoke with Saeed. And I have to say, really nice fella. Really enjoyed the stream with Lee and him yesterday. Will no doubt invite him on for a chat ahead of our game against United in January onto Anfield Agenda as well. He's very nice fella. Really enjoyed that stream with him yesterday. You know, Lee'd known him for a while. That was my first time chatting with Saeed. But really enjoyed it. Nice guy. When is the City preview out? Tomorrow morning, Adam. I just recorded it, mate, before I started this stream. So Connor's just doing the final few bits and pieces to it. And then she'll be ready to go in the morning. Because tomorrow we're taking the day off. So what have we got? Darwin is not missing. He has reached his performance ceiling. I don't know what's going on with Darwin. I'm going back and forth, to be honest with you, on the Darwin thing. Some days I'm thinking, right, he's improving, Craig. He's working hard. He's defending well. But ultimately, he's not putting the round thing in the onion bag. And that's what we needed. Like, I can't lie. I said to you guys, Real Madrid game, I want to see what Darwin's about. And I didn't see enough. So I wouldn't be starting him against Manchester City, in all honesty. You know, I'm not at a point yet where I'm I know whether I say I want us to sell or keep, but I just don't think I don't think he deserves to start this one, personally. Again, on the Hussam stuff, as I mentioned, I'm not going back over it. I said it because I think I needed to just update you guys on it. But, I'm not here to get into a slanging match or any of that stuff with anybody. We listen to the feedback. We made a decision. We move ahead. Lewis Byrne, thank you, bro, for your super chat. Very kind of you, sir. Said Kelleher to start Sunday. Yes. I don't think Ali's available yet. So, yeah, it's got to be Kelleher. Again, we had a big discussion about Kelleher yesterday. He's been so unlucky. The whole situation at Liverpool for him. I still find it very difficult to stomach that we're going to be selling him. Till Sheen said Darwin's a great target man, great hold of play, speed, could even assist more. It'd be fine, but his pass is dreadful, always panicky and heavy. He just ultimately he's just not sticking the ball in the net enough, is he? He had another chance there in the last game against Madrid. Courtois came out, closed him down, made the save. We just want a bit more from him in front of goal. There's no doubt, for me anyway, his work rate has improved. Defensively, Darwin's come back and helped out a bit. But, for what was paid for him, I think, I don't know, I'm still feeling there's a bit more that we need. Oh my God, Southampton are leading 2-1 against Brighton. Wow. That's a surprise. Brighton went 1-0 up on that, right? And now it's 2-1 to Southampton. Regan said, VVD is pretty much a done deal, isn't it? So, I believe so, mate, yeah. As I said yesterday, I've not had any confirmation it's signed and done, but anybody I've spoken to feels upbeat about it, and that there is some substance to these rumours doing the rounds. So, it shouldn't be too long, hopefully, but when it gets announced, we will absolutely come on and celebrate that. Oh, there's a VAR check on the goal, so it might not be 2-1. You guys are saying there's a VAR check on it. Cohen said, I can't find anything on us selling Kelleher. You don't need to find anything. I'm telling you, mate. I'm not trying to sound like a smart arse there. We're selling him in the summer. He's got 1 year to go at the end of this season. So if Liverpool don't sell him, you're going to lose him for nothing. And even selling him now, we're not going to see the money. And added on top of that, you've got our manager saying that Ali's coming back in as number one, and there's no doubt about that. And even to add to that further, actually, I'm going to read you something from Alisson, which I suppose will calm some people, will interest others. But Alisson's been speaking about his future, and he said he wants to go back at some point and play with Internacional, the club in Brazil where he started his career. He said, I watch all Inter's games. There's always that feeling of good memories and the desire to wear the Internacional shirt again. I have a 3-year contract with Liverpool. I think the future is not definitive for anyone, but within football, I hope to fulfill my contract here in England, and then after that, I am open. My role as a leader is to make sure everyone's grounded. At the same time, I believe that it is possible to complete our ambition of winning the Premier League and every title we compete for. We have the quality to do that. We have it. Now we need consistency. We have to be consistent both in results and in performances, and yet we recognise that there are still many things that we can change. So it sounds like Alisson is going to stay at Liverpool in his mind, see out his 3 years that he has still with the club, and then go back to Brazil. So when I was saying, Cohen, I'm telling you, mate, I mean, I'm hearing a lot of this from journalists as well behind the scenes. It's an open thing. So yeah, I'm not trying to be a smart arse about that, but Kelleher is going to move on, and I don't agree with it personally, but it is just unfortunately the way of the world and where we are. Stephen Cronin said, late to the show, any contract update? Other than what we spoke about last night, Stephen, with Virgil being very, very close. That's the most positive update I can give you. No breakthrough in the other two that I'm aware of. ST Nature said, knew it that Alisson was not going to Saudi. His religion and faith is strong, so unlikely. Well, to be fair, he himself, mate, has spoken previously about the money that those players are being offered and the opportunities that wealth brings. And so, I was always unsure, but, it's always lovely, by the way. I'm a fan of anybody going full circle like that in their career and going back to where it started for them. So if Alisson does end up back at International in Brazil at some point, that's a beautiful story as well. It's nice to see these things. Players finish their career where they started their career. And I hope Alisson gets that opportunity in the future. What did you think about Pep's Champions League press conference when he had scars and said, I want to hurt myself? We spoke about this many times. I didn't like to hear it, but, it was a heat of the moment thing. He came out the next day and, corrected and said he should not have said it. So, look, I wouldn't hold it against Pep. It's not a great thing to hear, particularly this time of the year, where suicide prevention is peak around Christmas, and it's a subject that's highlighted a lot, but I don't think he meant anything nefarious with it. I think it was just a genuine bad choice of words from him, so I wouldn't hold it against him. He has come out and corrected it since, so, that's all he can do. Oh, so disallowed goal in that game, so it's still Brighton 1, Southampton 1. My God, they took their time, didn't they, to disallow that one? God, that felt like about 5 minutes ago. Do you think Mohamed Salah will retire at Liverpool? No, I don't. It doesn't mean I think he's gone, by the way, Sean. I just think, whatever happens here, I feel like he probably will have either a Saudi or an MLS or, the retirement fund move. Devon said, wait, Craig, is the Virgil news legit? He's staying. I can't say to you in good faith that it's signed because I don't know. But what I can say to you is I've certainly been given upbeat feedback from people about the stories that I've broke, and when someone says to you, I can either confirm or deny, So, yeah, I would say, look, there's every reason to be optimistic on it. As I said all the time, I ain't going to be the one to break that story because, I don't have the actual ins and outs of it. But from the people that I've been speaking with, everybody feels very, very confident that there is substance to those stories. At least Craig signed up for next season. Yes, I am. Absolutely, mate. Bona fide, 100% going to be here. How much do you rate Baleba? I rate him quite a bit, but I am kind of new to the whole Baleba thing, AD. I wouldn't be somebody who would have watched them when he was in France. It's only since he's come to the Premier League, and I guess Liverpool have been somewhat linked with him, that I've started to pay some attention. But you can see why he's had a lot of interest in him. He's not finished. He's not the finished player yet, but I just don't think you're going to go to Brighton and get him out there if you're Liverpool, because it would cost a pretty penny. They paid, I think, 22, 23 million, and we know Brighton like to make a profit, so I would imagine anybody coming in to try to get him out of there would pay a lot. Would you like Premier League games on Christmas Day? Yes, because for me, Christmas Day is one of the most boring days of the year after you do all the present stuff and have the dinner. But at least there'll be a bit of NFL for me to watch. So yeah, I'd love a Christmas Day game. I would. Cohen, let me get your comment up, sir. Cohen said, I really hope the bill passes the band state owners. So do I, mate, so do I. I've been pretty outspoken on this all the way through. I've no problem with anybody ever owning Liverpool or anybody else from any part of the world, but it is about not having state interference. And, I do fear that we've already let the horse bolt on this one, and the whole situation of trying to change the ownership structures there. Let's be honest about it. If Manchester City and Newcastle had to sell up, does anybody feel that all we're going to have is a rejig of the actual ownership structure where nothing will actually change and they'll still be owned by the same areas of the world, but it will just be made to seem like they're individuals or companies that are doing it? And also, like, to force somebody into selling the club like that, City, Newcastle, it's tricky. I wouldn't even begin to understand the legal complexities around it. You know, we've seen it with, in a very exceptional circumstance with Chelsea, but it was a different circumstance. So I don't know is the honest answer how it all gets done. Imagine if our team loses on Christmas Day, though. How's that different from losing the day after? You know, it doesn't really matter to me when. If Liverpool lose a game, mate, wherever it is, I'm in bad form. Whether it's Christmas Day, St. Stephen's Day, which you guys call Boxing Day in the UK, yeah, it doesn't change me. I'll still be in a bad mood. So, Jude Bellingham has been speaking a little bit about his performance and Madrid's performance against Liverpool. He said, it's a bad result against the best performing team in Europe. It's no disgrace to come here and lose, but we're disappointed in the way we performed. From the first minute, they took control of the game. We never really maximised the spells we had in possession. When we got the ball back, we tried to force counter-attack a few too many times. We turned it over so much that they managed to keep control. Defensively, they kept us in a place where we couldn't harm them as much. He forgot one part there, that he stunk the gaff up as well as Kylian Mbappe. So, you know, it's fair enough saying the team didn't do it, but Bellingham and Mbappe were no-shows in that game. They were shockingly bad, both of them. Craig, are you 1 year and walking on a free, or are you planning on becoming a club legend? So, what I do all the time, Monkstown Glass, is go year to year. I had planned on jacking it up at the end of this season. You know, go back a month ago, I was talking about that. I was planning on this being my last season because, you know, of some of the trolling stuff and abusive stuff. But ultimately, you know, I need to fight back. So no, not going anywhere. Certainly not planning on... I have goals that I want to achieve on the channel. You know, I want us to become the most subscribed to Liverpool fan channel. I want us to be undeniable as a community. I want to continue to grow and build it. And I want to learn to block out the noise and the arseholes. So, yeah, I'm going nowhere, mate. In fact, I'm so going nowhere that I'm starting to even look to what the future might look like in other areas and stuff as well. Like, our channel's been going through an unbelievable run. You know, for the first time this season, we did 210,000 views of the watch along against Madrid. We're flying, and it would be insulting of me to walk away. Ty Carr said, are you surprised SALAH kept Mo, McAllister and Ibu on so long? I was wanting them subbed off in the 80th minute. As soon as we go 2-0 up, yeah, that's when I'm starting to look to make them changes. But ultimately, it's just so unfortunate. Well, I'd say it's unfortunate, the Konate thing. It's not really. Hendrick was just being a little shit. And imagine if that was the other way around. Imagine if Ibu had left one on him and he'd been injured. Madrid would be cry-arsing about it forever. So, yeah. I think that was just bad luck for us. Devon said 300k at the end of the year. I don't think we'll make it by then, no. My goal is to try and hit it by the end of January, because we've got a January transfer window. We usually do quite well during transfer window, some subscriber count. So yeah, hopefully by the end of January, that's my goal. So we know that Alexis McAllister is one booking away from a suspension, but there are two Liverpool players who are creeping up behind him who are two bookings away from suspensions. Cody Gakpo and Dominic Szoboszlai are the next players after McAllister who could be worrying about yellow cards. How much would you give Trent? 250, Mark, for me, sounds about fair, because that's going to be roughly what our captain's on. You know, I think Verge now is on about 220. So, yeah, 250 sounds more than fair to me. And that's 250 because we've let it get this late. You know, if he had 18 months to go, 200, I wouldn't even be looking at much more of a pay rise from him because he's a right back, you know, and the idea of right backs earning 300 or 350,000 pound a week just feels nuts. Chris said, Red Mist Pod was absolutely brilliant, Craig. Well done. Wanted more. Thank you. I have to say, because I'm really enjoying them as well. We've another one coming up on Monday with just me and Lee. And then next Thursday, myself and Lee are going to be joined by Joe Wainman, who's a Leeds fan. And we're going to be having a chat with him about life back in the Championship. Obviously, their ambitions to come back up to the Prem. And of course, we're probably going to be chatting about how much we all hate United a little bit as well. Happy Bubble Tea said, no one be leaving Liverpool. You'll even be saying Liverpool in Jamaica. Well, hello to you, mate, and welcome in. Ma B said, if Trent is seriously asking for 300k, much higher than our captain, he can leave. Nobody is above the club. So again, I have to stress that we don't know what Trent's requests are in this regard. The problem that I have with the Trent situation is just about not knowing whether he wants to stay or not. You know, it's up to him and his agent or him and his representatives to talk with the club about numbers. But I'd love to see a bit of a positive, you know, commitment from Trent to say that this is where he wants to be. And that's the part that worries me the most, is we haven't had that yet. He's been very coy on all of this, and I don't want it to blow up in his face. I don't want people to start turning on him, because I can't lie and say it's not annoying me. It is. It is annoying me. I'm just trying to bite my tongue on it a little bit. Because for me, I don't know how you square up the, I want to captain the club. I want to be an icon. I grew up with Steven Gerrard posters on my wall. I want to look back on my career and feel like I've won everything I can win. See what Liverpool are doing now, where we are, how the new managers come in, and the opportunity then to be the next captain after Virgil. And I don't see how all that's in front of you and you still have a decision to make. Genuinely, I find that difficult to sit here and not know, you know, because, as I said, the numbers, the fine details of the contract, that's for him and his agent to figure out. But God, I just love him to say, this is where I want to be. And Nathan said, wait, if Ali does stay for 3 seasons, what are we going to do with Mamardashvili? Loan him again? Honestly, don't know. Don't know what I don't know what way the goalkeeping situation is going to pan out longer term. What I don't want to happen is us to go from a great position where we've got loads of options into one where we sell Kelleher, maybe Mamardashvili becomes number 1, maybe Ali wants to go then. You know, I don't want us to look back at this great collection of keepers that we have now and then somehow shit the bed with it. Regan said, you got to respect United, Craig. Love the rivalry. Oh, I do respect United, like I've said many times. But it's a sporting respect. I still want to trounce you, and I still want you to lose every possible game. But I do respect the club. So ST Nature said, Trent has already said he captained Liverpool in one of his interviews, so I think he feels he's done it all in Liverpool. So if that is the case, and again, you know, we are guessing, then I think it becomes an even bigger issue for Trent. Because if Trent knows he doesn't want to stay and hasn't communicated it yet, the longer it goes on, and if it gets into January and there's no contract extension, the bitterness will only intensify. You know, if he came out now and said, look, I feel like this is a once-in-a-career opportunity. I can't deny the attraction of going to play in Madrid in the white shirt, and, you know, I think we'd understand it. We wouldn't like it, but we'd understand it. But if you play coy about it and you stay quiet on it, and then you go and you drag it on through the season, through January into February, I think then people are going to look at the situation differently. And then he starts to get I think a little bit more frustration being felt by the fan base. Again, I always think just upfront and honesty is the way to go with these things. And at this point, I don't know what the club can do to convince them, because, you know, we've been through this and we've tried to talk about it honestly and fairly. So Jurgen left, that was a loss. Maybe you need to regroup, fair enough. Then he wanted to see who the new coach was. That was announced. Then he wanted to see how we'd be under the coach. Is Arne SALAH going to be good on the training pitch? Will we be able to be challenging? And I think this season so far, all those questions have been answered, and answered in the affirmative. Arne SALAH meant Liverpool are challenging, and look at what we've just done so far at the start of the season. So the ambition part for Trent, I feel like there's no question left to debate. It has to just come down to now, does he want to be here or not? So, you know, I don't want to say the excuses are being ticked off, but the reasons for doubt to be there about the future direction of the club, I feel, are being boxed off, and he doesn't really have those same thought processes to be worrying about. Mac has a 50 yellow, which means he'll miss the Champions League game versus Girona. That's correct. That will give Endo a chance. No, it won't. I think you're going to see Jones coming in there, to be honest with you, with Gravenberch and Szoboszlai. Chris said, honestly, he must want to be here. Then why not say it? Because remember, just saying I want to stay here doesn't mean that he has to accept whatever Liverpool offers him. If Trent said I want to stay here, now it's up to me and the club to figure it out. You know, then the pressure, like Mo has done, pushes back onto the club, and the fans will be going, he wants to be here, FSG, Hughes, Edwards, give him a deal, get it sorted out. You know, by saying he wants to be here, he'd have everyone even more on side again, like Mohamed Salah has, like Virgil has. But, you know, so far, silence. Marlon said, Craig, if you notice, it's always the same players that get injured. Jota, Konate, etc. It's so frustrating. Do you know what? I know Jota's injury situation because I've looked at it in recent times. Every football club is going to have players who perhaps are more prone to muscle knocks or stuff like that. And Konate been getting along so well this season. You know, we hadn't really seen any of these little muscle knocks and strains, but you know, look at the way Endrick collided into him, and you can see why he picked up that knock. So, yeah, and with Diogo, you know, Virgil landed on him. So, you know, these things have been, I guess it's the ones that in your body's unexpecting them. You know, you're not expecting to be collided into or whatever, that maybe your body's a little bit more open to being injured. I don't know. Sheldon said Liverpool need to sell Trent. We won't be able to sell him. You know, you won't be able to sell Trent. You won't be able to sell Virg. You won't be able to sell Mo in January. Quite simply because, would you agree to a sale if you were in their shoes? So you've got the whole point of, well, if we're at the point where they're admitting they want to go, then these clubs will probably have the patience to wait till the summer, or till January when they can sign an agreement with them for the summer. So the idea of selling them, I think, has gone out the window. There's no chance to do it with either of them. Or, excuse me, any of the three of them. I think we should have Gakpo and Diaz switching back and forth, and Mack and Szoboszlai. It would confuse City's markings, said Cohen. They're all staying, Craig. The only interesting one is Salah, said Regan. Well, for me, I want Virgil boxed off because, you know, as I've said many, many times, I've seen lots of great attackers come and go at Liverpool. And Salah is up there, if not the best of them. But we were always, under recent times, we were a good solid spine away, a good goalkeeper, a good centre-back partnership away from league title wins. So for me, Virgil's been transformative since he's come to the club. So I'll be very relieved when we see him, because then we can start to look at, okay, who's going to succeed Virgil in 2 years' time? Is Kwanzaa going to be that guy? Do we need to bring in, or do we have another young centre-back coming through? And with Salah, you know, I agree with everyone who says you can't replace him numerically. You can't. But forwards just don't concern me as much if they leave or not. You know, I'll be devastated if Mo leaves, but just still feel for me Virgil's the one I want done, because he's been so good leading us from the back, and yeah, get that one done, please. And also, as a fan base, I feel like we just need any positive news at this point on these 3 contracts, because we've been talking about this for months now. I'm sure everyone's fed up talking about it. Echo Sim said, would you offer an extension pay bump to Jones now? I think his contract ends the summer of 2027. Not quite yet. I would wait till we get to towards the end of the season. You know, I want a bigger sample size from Curtis Jones. I want to make sure that he stays fit most of the season. I want to make sure that his good form keeps up. And then talk with him about it. So, yeah, so far so good. If he continues his development under Arne the way he has, we've spoken about becoming a father. It seems to really suit Curtis, and I don't believe in coincidences. So for me, when you welcome your first child into the world, you know, it does a reset mentally. Anybody who's become parents in the chat will know when your first child arrives, something clicks upstairs, and you say, right, I'm now responsible for another life. I'm now, you know, morally I've got to guide this young child, and financially I've got to look after them, and your priorities shift a little bit. Who's the highest earner at Liverpool, and would you think it's justified? Trent matches the wages of the highest earner. So highest earner is Mohamed Salah, and do I think it's justified that Trent matches it? Not a chance in hell. No. And I'm going to say it very simply, because to get to the point that Mohamed Salah has gotten to, he had to basically do things nobody has done before. And we had to break a wage structure for somebody that was the most deserving of anybody if you were to break a wage structure. I can't say the same about Trent. I can't say, look, from full back, him and Robbo have done unbelievable numbers of assists and stuff like that. But no way do I think he's worth the same money each week as Mohamed Salah. No, I think he's 250 would be my ceiling to pay Trent. He's a fullback at the end of the day. I know he's a fullback that can do more than a lot of other fullbacks, but still a fullback. Is it true the club have offered Diaz a new contract? Not sure, although he will be being looked at soon enough, because he's got 2 and a bit years to go on his contract, and he is one of the lower earners of the bigger players at the club, so could totally understand that it would be in the pipeline soon. Who was our highest before Mo? I think it was still Mo. Yeah, so I think it was Mo, Virgil, Thiago. I think Trent was there or thereabouts as well. Firmino was up there at about 180, I think. I think that was pretty much the top echelon of our wage structure. Badruddin said, I can't see FSG spending to replace 3 top-class players, so they need to give them new contracts. Mate, you're preaching to the choir. Like I've said this before, do I have faith in FSG to replace those 3 if they go? No, I don't. I have faith that they will replace them with cheaper, younger alternatives that they hope can become them, but that's a long way from believing that. And because anything, even if they do go out and get the best possible up-and-coming players, it's still somewhat of a risk, right? Because they still have to settle into a new city, a new style of play. Whereas with these boys, we know what we're getting. We know what we'll get with Mo. We know what we'll get from Virgil. We know what we get from Trent. So, yes, I would very much be on that side of the debate, like you've said there, mate. Do you think there might be a hidden homegrown fee in there somewhere? No. Like, ultimately, George, do you think Real Madrid are going to pay Trent £350,000 a week? Because I don't. I feel if he goes to Real Madrid, I'd be surprised if he gets more than he's on now at Liverpool. You know, the one thing I've always said in this is, I wonder, is there a price for Liverpool and a price for Madrid? Because I can't see Madrid, after signing Mbappe, having a Vinicius, doing all the other stuff, then going and throwing 300. Because we're supposed to believe, by the way, that Bellingham is on 300 or so grand a week at Madrid. So if we're supposed to believe that, a superstar, the next big thing of English and world football is on about 300 grand a week, they're not bringing in a right back and throwing the same money at him, or more money at him. I just can't see it. And Nathan said, what have you thought about Dom this season? Because I feel like we haven't seen Szoboszlai at his best. I think there's been... I'm going to rejig what I'm going to say here. Hang on. I think a lot of the stuff that he's done well isn't stuff that we instantly see with our eye or are easy to quantify, with regards like if he scores a goal or if he makes an assist. The work rate, the pressing, the ground covered, the positional awareness. These are things that I think we've seen improvements in with Dominik Szoboszlai, but you need to add in more of the last bits. And look, to be fair to him, he scored a goal recently as well. And that competition with Elliott coming back in now, Jones being there as well. I think that will, competition's always good and healthy and it brings the best out of people. Hypothetically, we lose all three. What are your dream choices to replace them? Replace them. Jacob, hypothetically, if we lose all three, I'm talking about replacing the owners at that point, mate. If all three of them left, I don't see a way back for FSG in that scenario. I don't think there is a PR move or any bullshit that would get Liverpool fans to swallow the idea of the three of them going. I think it would be a backlash like we haven't seen against them. Genuinely, it would be... I can't fathom it. I can't. David said, VVD getting snubbed by FIFA is worse than Salah. Well, I'd only seen the attackers one, mate. Somebody sent it to me in Discord, because remember, I'm not on Twitter or anything, so somebody in Discord shared the FIFA best attackers with us, and some of the names in there without Salah are just, it's farcical. It's a war if that happens, said Sean Solutions. It's honestly, mate, it would be... I don't think there'd be anybody left. You couldn't come out publicly and say you supported that decision. Nobody. No matter how big of a brown nose or supporter of the club's owners you are, there's no world where that happens and there isn't absolute bedlam in the fan base of anger and frustration. And of course I would never, and nobody should ever, speak about any physical harm to anybody. I would never encourage anything like that, but I'm talking major protests, major walking out during game. Everything would be on the table at that point with regards to creative solutions to vent the frustrations. Stephen, thank you for your super chat. Stephen, I'm just going to bring your comment up on screen now. You said current weekly earnings: Salah 350k, Virgil 220k, Trent 180, Robbo 160, Maka 150, Gravenberch 150, Nunez 140, Jota 140. So yeah, for me there, if Trent goes from 180 to 250, that's more than enough. Like, that's 70 G's. That's 3.5 million quid a year. So over the course of a 4-year deal, that's 14 million extra. If that isn't enough, I don't know what to say. That's what is that? 30% wage increase, something like that. That's a gross figure, mind. Well, look, to be fair, Chris, these boyos have companies for their image rights and many other tax efficient ways of making sure that as much of their income as possible stays in their bank account. So, again, all completely above board and legal, but it doesn't really matter. There's still a lot of money there. So let me fly through everything that we went through today for people who are maybe coming in a bit late with us. Just a reminder, by the way, we are still trying to raise that money to help Joe get that wheelchair basketball chair. So if you can, if you were thinking of sending a super chat or anything throughout the month of December, why not make a little donation to the Just Giving page there, where we're trying to help him raise that £5,500 to continue his great work with youth in his community, and of course his own development in basketball and his own fitness needs as well. If you can help out in any way, use the link pinned to the top of the chat and help Joe out, and of course we will be making a donation towards the latter part of that as well. And again, thank you, Joe, for reaching out to us, mate. These are exactly the type of things that we want to highlight and encourage. You know, Joe being a youth worker, himself having cerebral palsy, but still going out there, playing basketball, helping other people, and trying to better himself is the type of people that I want to get behind and support. Hoarder, thank you, bro. Appreciate you. Said, cheap FSG, sign them all, greetings from Iceland. And also, we do have to make that 10 quid donation that gentleman from the States put into the chat yesterday for us, so I will be putting that in there as well. Cheap FSG, sign them all, greetings from Iceland. Yes, cheap FSG indeed, mate. But look, if they get done, I'll be happy. You know, I'm not going to lie, if they get done, I'll be happy. Harry said, Craig, we got to look at the way SALAH plays now too. The things Trent did to make him special aren't needed anymore because of how the whole team contributes. But in fairness to Trent, defensively he's improved this season under Arne. So, you know, give the man his credit in that regard. I've certainly seen a better defensive version of Trent this year. So just to go through and recap all the news for everyone. We started off by speaking about a proposal to ban state-controlled clubs from English football has been included in the Football Governance Bill. If passed, Manchester City and Newcastle would need to change ownership to obtain a licence from the independent regulator. That came out from the Times, by the way, so, you know, a serious operator there. Michael Owen tweeted to say, it's been over 11 years in the making, but Man United are all of a sudden good to watch again. After their fantastic, mighty 3-2 victory over the hugely imposing Bodo Glimt of Norway. He said, improvement required everywhere you look, but this is now a team with potential written all over it. Fuck off, Owen. Then we spoke about the absolute state of the FIFA best attacker nominees, because there's no Mohamed Salah in that list, but we are looking at Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, Kano, Dovbyk, Suarez. I suppose Dovbyk had a good year, so I'm being harsh there. Ronaldo, Watkins, Rami, all in there, but no Mo Salah on that list. Shocking. How am I supposed to exist in a world where Solomon Rondon is nominated for the best attacker in the world, but Mo isn't? Again, I'm going to say that I don't want to be associated in a football world where Solomon Rondon is up for an award and Mohamed Salah isn't. There's no fibre of my body that wants to accept that as anything other than bullshit of the highest order. James Pearce then spoke about Liverpool still having an admiration for Zubimendi, but he did go on to say, the Anfield hierarchy believe he came under pressure from Real Sociedad to stay put at his boyhood club when he made that U-turn, having initially indicated that he was keen on completing the switch to Merseyside. Then we went on to speak a little bit about Trent. David Ornstein said, Liverpool are trying to renew Trent's contract, but so far there is no agreement in place. There is strong interest from Spain and other countries. Liverpool would like to keep hold of him. There is no clear picture of the outcome right now. Again, all I want is just a nod from Trent to say that he wants to be at Liverpool. He's not considering anything else at this point, and he wants his agent and Liverpool to work it out. That would be very much appreciated by the fan base. Then we had the news from Footy Accumulators, and I think Dave O.C. Kopp, who said Konate is set to miss 5 to 6 weeks with a knee injury picked up in the last 10 seconds of the game against Real Madrid. Endrick made sure of that. Simon Brundish then put up a really good post to give us a little bit of confidence here. So Simon said, as brilliant as Ibrahima Konate and Virgil van Dijk have been as a partnership, they averaged 2.15 points per game. But Joe Gomez and Virgil, when they were together, 2.43 points per game. So, you know, when one door closes, another door opens and all that. Then there was some talk from a Colombian outlet, I think, to say that Liverpool have officially offered a new contract to Luis Diaz. Although there's a few disagreements over contract details, talks will continue. PSG and Barcelona are watching from the sidelines as their interest remains. Well, he has 2 years to go after this year on his Liverpool contract, so Liverpool very much in the box seat there. But he does deserve a pay rise, I think we'll all agree on that. Then we went on to speak about Alisson, speaking about maybe wanting to go full circle in his career and finish up at Internacional over in Brazil. He said, I watch all of Internacional's games. There's always that feeling of good memories and desire to wear the Internacional shirt again. I have a 3-year contract with Liverpool. I think the future is not definitive for anybody, but within football I hope to fulfill my contract here in England, and then after that I'm open. So Ali certainly looks like he's focused in on seeing out his contract here at Liverpool. Then we spoke about a report from Patrick Berger that said Liverpool are monitoring Borussia Dortmund winger Jamie Gittins. Gareth Bale at FC Transfer Room posted to say Gareth Bale said that Liverpool is his choice as the team that will win the Premier League this year. I think I said earlier on Champions League, actually. Apologies on that one. But it will win that as well, so no need to worry. And then finally, TalkSport said that Real Madrid have informed Liverpool of their desire to sign Trent Alexander-Arnold. Liverpool are still hoping to convince Trent of signing a new deal. I very much hope that when they did inform Liverpool of their desire to sign Trent, we said, sorry, what? 2-0, can't hear you. Phone's broke, who dis? David said, sent you an email about Macca and VVD being snubbed. Well, if they were snubbed as well, mate, shocking. Particularly Macca there. You know, Argentina winning Copa America, you know, off the back of a World Cup. If Macca isn't in that list, it's an absolute joke, to be honest with you, mate. And same with Virgil, so thank you, David. Let me just bring up your super chat though on screen. Shocking that, mate. Absolutely shocking. These awards are becoming a farce, aren't they? Like, they really, really are. I still can't get over the fact that Mo hasn't made the finalist of the AFCON Player of the Year. And not just Mo, there was a whole host of top players that should have been on that list that weren't there. It feels like this is it's just pure bullshit at this point. Would you take Klopp back if you were offered him? No, I wouldn't. No. I felt like the way Jurgen Klopp departed, how it was handled, you know, I felt like it was the right time. I felt like it was handled in the best way possible from the point of view of respect. Jurgen had his big farewell. Jurgen did very well to welcome in Arne as well, and, you know, sing the Arne Slot song and lots of other stuff. So no, I very much am of the mindset that Arne is the man for the job now, and as I have been from day one, I'm right behind him, and I believe he's going to do something special and build on the great work that Jurgen put in place beforehand. Any thoughts on Pep's press conference interview about the scratch in his face? I've covered this loads of times, George. He made a mistake with his choice of words. Heat of the moment stuff. He came out and clarified that he shouldn't have used those words the next day. I'm not going to hold that against the man, you know. Heat of the moment stuff, press conferences, frustration, anger. You know, it wasn't great, the choice of words that he used. Of course it wasn't, especially with the time of the year that it is. But, you know, he knows it was wrong, and I'm not going to take, you know, cheap shots at him over it. It's just a bad choice of words, really. Did you see FSG invested 700 mil in the Red Sox? I haven't. No, to be honest with you. As I said, I very much don't keep much of an eye on anything Major League Baseball related. So I've no... What do you mean by invested? Like, have they committed to contracts worth 700 million or something like that for players? But look, they're very separate entities. I've always said this. I don't think anything that happens at the Red Sox is money that isn't being used at Liverpool or vice versa. I've never been somebody that's believed that that's the case. But what I have said is, if they're unwilling to make sure the Red Sox are challenging and that's their hometown club. What hope have we got? Rusba said, I would be surprised if all 3 players stay. I can't see the club spending what those 3 would be asking in order to make it happen. I think 2 of the 3 stay. I think Trent goes. It is my gut feeling. That's all it's based on, by the way. I know nothing that you don't know around the contract extensions. Well, maybe I know a little bit more about the Virgil one than you guys maybe know. But other than that, I don't know anything. Yeah, I'm guessing on Trent. But, you know, I keep saying the same stuff. The questions, the doubts he had have been answered. The club are competitive. Arne is that guy. He's improved Trent on the training pitch. He's improved us on the football pitch. I don't know what more the club need to do to convince him that we are certainly going in the right direction. With Salah, I think it's just going to come straight down to numbers. If Liverpool can get to a number that Mohamed Salah and Rami Abbas feel represents Mo's stature, it gets done. If we don't, we get upset. The hopeful guy said, Craig, owners are tin pot. Sorry, not hard to extend all 3. Dude, you know I'm not a big fan of these owners, right? You don't need to apologise to me for moaning about the owners. I'm the guy who came up with the "Where's the money, John" slogan. I'm the guy who constantly refers to them as cheap. So, yes, I agree. They are. They're cheap. I've said it for years now, and I won't back down on that. They're cheap. I think we'll see Trent's commitment on Sunday. It's tough pressure on him, but he has to show he's up for it. Look, I've no doubt he'll come out and play well. You know, again, I'm not trying to say he's not trying on the pitch or anything. It's just with him, he's the only one of the 3 we've not come out and heard categorically say he wants to stay, and that's what concerns me as a Liverpool fan. David said, I'd rather FSG over state owners. So would I. To be honest, mate, I would. Because, you know, my stance on state ownership of football clubs as well. I think it should be illegal. The hopeful guy said 3 of the best players in the league and we're struggling to pay. Mate, again, I don't disagree. But also, there has to be, you know, we don't know what Mo's asking for, as an example. So for me, as a Liverpool fan, I'm more than happy for Liverpool to keep Mo's contract at the level it's at, give him a loyalty signing on bonus, and maybe some more incentives. But I wouldn't be looking to push him on to 400 and 450 grand a week because, let's be honest, like I've said all the way through this, he is on the decline ever, like not much, but his best days, same with Virgil, are undoubtedly behind them. But there's no sign of Father Time catching up with them quickly, so happy to roll them over on similar contracts. But I wouldn't be throwing huge sums of an increase at them. No, I wouldn't. Craig, if you're feeling down tonight, just remember City bottled the game against Feyenoord. I'm not feeling down, mate. I'm buzzing. Massive game on Sunday. Day off for me tomorrow. An actual whole day off. No work to do. Nothing. No video. No nothing. Day off completely. I'll switch my computer off when I finish this stream. And yeah, that's me done till we start on Sunday. So I'm very much looking forward to that break because it's been really busy lately. And that's a good thing. Ethan said, I think Mo will have a quiet game on Sunday and score 2. Well, the greats often do that, don't they, mate? You know, maybe aren't impactful too much in games, but then they get their opportunities and bang, bang, scores a brace. When are you putting up the Christmas tree? Oh, I don't know, mate. Honestly, I'm a bit bah humbug on stuff like that. If I had my way, I don't know, the tree be about that size. But I don't know, whenever I'm told we're putting up the tree, basically. Charlie, how are you, my friend? And by the way, do get those likes up for me. We have to get the 500 likes, so if you can, please do hit that like button. Hey Craig, I may sound stupid, but if Trent left, I'd be sad but not bothered as he's easily replaceable. Salah and Verge would be harder to replace. So for me, I'd be annoyed, but again, I wouldn't shed any tears about it. I have a lot of faith in Conor Bradley, albeit, I don't think the other aspects that Trent can bring to the team. I think maybe Conor doesn't have the ball striking ability and stuff, but just from a purely defensive position, I think we could cope. It would just stick in my throat that we've lost him for nothing, more than anything. If a local boy like that is to ever leave his hometown club, you would hope and want it to be for an eye-watering transfer fee that puts the club in a very good position to build on success. To see the local boy who spoke about wanting to captain the club one day leaving on a free would, you just again shake your head and go, how is that good business from the club? How did we get to this position? Peter said, Craig, happy with Brighton dropping points. Prediction for Chelsea versus Villa. How do you think Liverpool will do during the Christmas period? So we've got nine games during this period, and it's a difficult week. Man City on Sunday, Newcastle away on Wednesday, and then Everton in the Merseyside Derby at 12:30 next Saturday. So it's certainly got the potential to be an important week in our season. So, I'm hoping for 7 to 9 points, being greedy. Chelsea, Villa, I think you beat them because, Villa aren't... I think Villa are in somewhat of a lull at the minute. And I think maybe the Champions League football is starting to catch up with them a little bit. So I think if it's at the Bridge, I think you'll probably just about shade it. Jim, how are you? Jim Anderson, welcome in, Jim. Said, personally, I think VVD and Salah will stay if FSG have a titter of wit. I like what you did there, mate. A titter of wit. I'm going to rob that phrase. If Trent doesn't show up on Sunday, I personally will book and pay for Madrid the day after. There you go. What's your opinion on who would sign as a backup centre-back? It's a good question. Branthwaite would still be near the top of my list. I'm finished with Colwill. That's done. I still feel like Van de Ven from Spurs was one we missed out on, although he has had his fair share of injuries. I could have seen him in a Liverpool shirt. I don't think Frimpong is anyway a good fit for us, to be honest with you. Frimpong just doesn't suit the way we play. Right, what else we got? Why he finished with Colwill? I just don't think he's pushed on enough to be somebody that I think we should be still looking at. We tried at one point, I think, to see what he was doing there. He committed to Chelsea, and I think that chapter closes, is what I'm saying. I'm not trying to say he's shit or anything. I'm just thinking, from our perspective, I think that chapter's done. I see Kuna from Wolves as a future Liverpool player, said Dave Jobs. He's certainly catching the eye, Dave, this season. And he's got that, fire in his belly about him as well, Kuna, hasn't he? He's a very easy player to like. And hopefully, he continues with Wolves this season doing well. And you never know, mate, maybe. So look, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to say goodnight to you all because my wife just got home from the wedding she was at. So I'm going to go and say hello to her and my daughter. A reminder, tomorrow is my day off. So there'll be the preview coming out tomorrow morning. But there'll be no live content or anything tomorrow. Let's just check in on the poll that we ran at the start where we said, will Trent stay or leave? 55% of you guys have said that you think he will stay, and 45% feel that Trent will leave. Appreciate you all being here with us. Look forward to seeing you on Sunday. We'll be starting from 2:45 p.m. Have a wonderful Saturday. Thank you for joining us, and I'll talk to you soon.